not going to use taxpayer money to pay people more to stay home.
Let's deal with tonight's show. Okay, first things first. Scrooge and Mnuchin. This is the idiot running around on the airwaves talking about how $600 is way too much for any American to have every week because, damn it, will never work again. This man has millions upon millions of dollars and probably works 12 to 16 hours a day. But for you and I mere mortals, $600 just blows our mind. I mean, we'll never. I mean, literally, they've been running around the country for months saying it's a total disincentive to work. It's malicious, it's mean, it's hateful, and all of these times I always talk about class warfare. This is the biggest one. Turning off the spigot to be a bigot. Saying stupid shit like that, like no one will ever work again if they receive unemployment during a fucking pandemic. That's why people aren't at work. I've been working 60, 70 hours a week, in and outdoors, for years. And when they first did this, thought maybe a couple of weeks would be off and be back to work or what have you. But no. The same idiots that backed this hairstylist against the black judge a couple of months ago, the same idiots that talked about liberating Michigan, the same idiots that are talking about opening schools and that it would be over by Easter and watch people go out for Memorial Day and made mask and no mask a fucking thing and drove this pandemic into the super bug that it is right now, are now the ones who don't want to clean up their mess. People would be back at work if COVID was almost an afterthought. We'd be working every day right now talking about, you think this thing is going to come back in November or for flu season? That's where we'd be. But thanks to the Liberate movement, thanks to the two sides of the argument of the economy versus the pandemic, here the fuck we are. And since you were wrong on wait and see, we wait and saw. And here's where we are, Mnuchin. You wanted to wait. You and McConnell said, wait. Let's see how the stimulus that we have already works. And by then, maybe it didn't happen. And now that you were wrong, you want to force schools to open and cut off unemployment. It's psychotic. There are a lot of people that weren't able to pay their rent this week. Or won't pay their rent this week because it may be all the money they have and they don't know where they're going to get another dollar from. And your big fuck you to working Americans who are out of work because of this administration's mismanagement of this pandemic is fucked up. I don't know if we can wait 3 more months to get these motherfuckers out of here. It's a pandemic. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. On another note, sports. A lot of BLM stuff going on for the sports, but we're on a COVID kick tonight, and so I want to focus back on, reportedly, the Jacksonville Jaguars have 12 players on their COVID list, including best rookie quarterback of last year, Gardner Minshew. Now, they said they don't have to disclose whether they have it or whether they come in contact, but even still, this is a warning shot. There's people on broadcast saying, well, better these players deal with this now rather than during the season. But the way COVID is playing out, leaving people permanently damaged, lungs, heart, arteries, kidneys. Also, of course, it's showing that it can reoccur. Everything you thought about it, all this flu shit, you get it, it'd be over with. None of it's played out to be true. They're burying small children. They're burying babies. All of this stuff. There was a 28-year-old that got a double lung transplant. So all of the myths that were unknown about this virus are proving that it keeps being worse than we ever expected. Only thing we can do is wait on a viable treatment that proves itself, and even that's going to prove itself at the expense of many lives because it's not going to work for everyone. And that also goes for a vaccine because even the best vaccines aren't 100% efficacy. So the NFL has a lot to think about because the NBA is playing in a bubble and it prepared and it's playing in one place and it locked all its players in. Major League Baseball is having a different problem because, of course, their players are still traveling. The NFL has way more players than that, has put no safeguards in place, or making the teams travel. I think it was said that the Rams play the Giants and the Jets in back-to-back weeks. The Giants and Jets play in the same fucking stadium, and they're making the Rams fly back to LA, then back to New York. Like that's less dangerous. So COVID is going to be a thing, and I dread to think of what we're going to be dealing with in the fall for cold and flu season when the rest of the country can't get outdoors. I think that's what opened up the Northeast, was the weather opened up, people got freed up, and that's given them a bit of a respite. The Sun Belt, where people are acting a goddamn fool because they believe Clorox and sunlight will kill the virus, are going through their spikes right now, and we may just have countrywide super spikes come this fall. And a super spike being defined as somewhere around the levels Florida has right now nationwide. But that's what I have for you today. As usual, fuck you. I don't need you to subscribe. Don't give a fuck about your comments. I'm a grown-ass man, so my life doesn't revolve around likes. I'm just some guy, and only I know what's best. Have a great evening.